People are fucking dying. I'm gonna save somebody's life. That's somebody's kid.
Two hands to the sky.
Today we're going to talk about the Travis Scott Astroworld tragedy that happened a few weeks ago at the concert. And before we get super serious, obviously you need to know who I am to be giving some sort of like personal and spiritual advice. I'm sitting here in Mexico with a blue shirt on that's kind of like ocean colored. And so I'm the most spiritually woke person that exists on the internet today. My hair has transcended all kinds of different realms. I astral project in my sleep. And obviously I'm the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama to be speaking about this to you. I'm being sarcastic here, okay? It's a little bit of a parody of myself. I took some time to put out this video. I probably should have put it out a little earlier. And the reason I did not is I wanted to get all my thoughts, words, and actions aligned here to really go deep down the rabbit hole with you. And I think with the Astroworld situation, it really comes down to two things. One thing is self-interest versus cognitive biases. And I'm explaining what both of those are and their situation, how it relates. Forever change the trajectory of my life. Saw you. You both look pretty interesting. Well, a little close there, a little bit pleased with everybody. Like, ha ha ha. Sure. All right, let's play a game. What is self-interest? I would describe it this way. Back in 2015, I believe 2014, I lived in Hollywood in Los Angeles Hills, okay? And it wasn't just like a regular house, it was like a huge mansion that all the crew stays at. Now, while we're at this mansion, sometimes we'd have parties. And during these parties, we would invite people over to the house. And you'd be surprised. People usually seem to be very respectful, decent human beings. They'd be like even our friends, you know? They care about us, they like us, they treat us with respect. But then they come to the party or the house, and that personality who you'd meet would totally change. They would become very different.
Johnny, what the f are you doing, you bitch?
And no better place to see this was the bathroom. So when you have people over at a big house, they go to the bathroom, they use your bathroom, and what they usually end up doing is they urinate all over the toilet seat. This is incredible. Millionaires, grown entrepreneurs, businessmen, respectable human beings with great moral character and fiber, all of a sudden urinating all over your toilet seat. And they wouldn't flush, and they would just leave the bathroom like that. And the next guy would go in, and what would he want to do? Well, he doesn't want to clean up some other guy's urine, so he just decides to pee on the toilet seat more and add to the problem. And then he leaves, and the next guy comes in, and so on and so on. And by the end of it, you know, with this bathroom that is full of grown men that have peed all over the place, and you're thinking, what's going on there? What happened to the responsible adults that I once knew that came up to my house? And you're thinking to yourself, I don't want to clean this up. Why should I even throw a party if it's requiring me to clean up this bathroom? I don't want to throw parties anymore. I'm done with this. I'm not inviting anybody over. Well, at least until the week after, where you're like, okay, let's have a party, right? So what happens there? I think it's really self-interest. People do things through their own self-interest. If you want to know what anybody's going to do, don't look at their highest character or what their moral fiber is. Say, what is their biggest self-interest in this situation? So for example, you have a date planned with somebody, okay? You're really excited about this date. It's Friday night that the date is planned. And you make plans with them on a Monday. So you got 5 days from that Monday until the Friday when the date's going to come up. And somehow it's Friday afternoon, and you get a text maybe 4 p.m. and the person says, hey, I'm really sorry, I can't make it, let's get together next time. You're like, when? And they don't answer. They just kind of like leave you hanging. So what's going on there? Is that person really just like not care about you and how you saved your Friday night for them, and you made yourself available, and you went through all this effort to make plans and maybe, whatever, all this stuff? Do they not care about that? Are they such a horrible human being that they're just not even concerned about the impact of your schedule and your life and your time? No, to be perfectly honest, they are not thinking of you at all, bro. They're not thinking of you at all. Okay, and they're really just concerned with themselves. They're thinking, I know I said I would do this thing with person A, but a better option with person B has presented itself, and I'd really like to do that too. I'll just do option B. I'll just do option B. And they just do something else, whatever is the best thing that came up for their Friday night, because they don't want to miss out, right? FOMO, fear of missing out on the best thing that's available to them. And so what's happening in the situation is they're just acting through their own self-interest. And that's also why divorce rates are so high, right? Like if you think about divorce rates, it's like everybody's encouraged to not stay married. You mean I get to like cut myself off from this person who was annoying me, who I was in love with at one point, but they're just annoying me right now. I get to cut myself off from them. I get to get financially reimbursed sort of for doing this divorce. And oftentimes the person who's initiating the divorce, or if it's the woman, doesn't have to pay for the divorce fees. It's the guy sometimes, right? It's like the incentive to get divorced is so high because it encourages negative self-interest. So why am I talking about this when it comes to the Astroworld situation with Travis Scott? The reason we're going to go through this is I want to show you where in your own life is self-interest and cognitive biases running you. Because if you're not aware of them, they will run you. Situations in your life will fall apart and you won't know why. You'll be acting irrationally against your own goals. You're like, why am I avoiding my own goals? Why am I going against what I want, right? It will run your life. So you have to get in control of it right now, or it can lead to the downfall of your family, your health, your finances, your career. So much will fall apart if you don't get this managed. So you might think, who's responsible? Well, Travis Scott's self-interest is putting on the best show possible. So people are like, wow, this show was amazing. And they are hyped up, they enjoy the music, and they want to come back a second time, okay? What's the self-interest of the police? Well, the police is to say nothing bad happened at the show. The show was just incredible. It went off without a hitch, and we policed very well, right? Because they want to have that great reputation. What's the self-interest of the concert promoters? To get as many people into the venue and to pay as little in expenses and overhead costs as possible so they profit from it. What's the self-interest of the person who's partying in the crowd that's next to the victims? Well, that person's self-interest is to just have a great time, to be carefree, not have any responsibility, and to just be selfish about having a good time, maybe being high, drunk at that moment, enjoying the music. That's their self-interest. So everybody has these conflicting self-interest, and in that moment, they're doing whatever best suits them. Would you agree with that? Now, what I believe Travis Scott suffered from was something called inattentional blindness. So inattentional blindness, also called perpetual blindness, is the failure to notice something that is completely visible because of lack of attention. All right, so you're on stage. Imagine you're an artist. Your biggest focus is to not forget your words. That's number one. Second focus is to put on a good show. Third focus is maybe to maintain your energy. Fourth focus is to make everybody come back. Your selective focus, or we call it RAS, reticular activation system, is so much on this. You have an unintentional blindness to people that are falling down in the crowd. Now, could you actually pick out 10, 15, 20, 30, 50 people in a sea of, I don't know how many people were at the event. Could you, but maybe like it's 10,000 or 50,000, I don't know. But could you pick out 0.01% of the crowd in that moment? Probably not, right? Because you have an unintentional blindness to what's happening around you. Now, it's not an excuse. You have to still be aware of it, but this could happen to you in your own life. So let me ask you, where do you have the unintentional blindness in your own life? Now, myself, very recently, let me give you a story. I actually had a friend of mine pass away from cancer about 3 days ago from recording this video. And this is somebody who I was very close with 7 or 8 years ago. This is somebody who got me involved in fraternities, was really like a role model to me. And I just got caught up with life, got caught up with traveling, got caught up with work, got caught up with dating, got caught up with finances. Everything in my life just distracted me for so many years. I haven't actually seen this person in 2 years. To the point where, I hear that they're in the hospital, and I go visit them this week, but they're in a kind of like in a sedated coma. And then I'm like, wow, where did all this time go, right? It was an unintentional blindness that I had to just life and not making the effort to reconnect with people that I was close with, right? So this can affect you in many different areas. So I want to ask you again, where are you seeing this in your own life? The next one I'm going to talk about here is authority bias. So the tendency to attribute a greater accuracy to the opinion of an authority figure. That's interesting. Wow. That's really interesting. Thinking that the authority always does what's best. So if you're at a concert, your first thought is, don't worry, the concert people got me. The concert promoters or the police, they got me. I am safe. Thank God we live in the year 2021 right now, where you don't have to even carry a sword on your hip to walk on the street because there's no need for it. You have the police, and the police are the law, and they enforce it. However, you still have to be aware of your own security and be able to take care of yourself. The authorities can't always do this, right? they can't always do this. You'll see there's some states like Florida or also Texas where they have a gun law where you can carry guns with a concealed permit. And I think it's like 40% of people have guns, and that's those states. But, you know, they've taken the responsibility of self-protection because they don't trust authority that much. They call those the red states, right? So you got to look out for your own self. It's not enough to say I'm going to go to a concert and have a great time, and I know I'm going to be safe. You also see this in nightclubs. People get drunk and rowdy in nightclubs. They really just go overboard. And they're like, oh, everything will be fine because they know the security is there to like kick somebody out. Now, on the flip side, what else is happening? There's something called cognitive biases. And those are where we look at the world, and the world is filtered through our own mind, and we don't perceive the world for what it is. Okay, we don't perceive situations for what they are, and we're angry at the world. We could be jealous of the world. We can say the world is against us. It's just our brain filtering information. On a deep primal level, our brain is still equipped with the functionality that it had like 10,000 years ago. It hasn't updated to our modern societies, okay? Those are my thoughts on this. It's not a black and white situation. It's a lot of gray, but life is a lot like that, and it's important to just say, hey, where can I always do better and take responsibility? Anyways, if you want to see more videos like this, I got a playlist just for you. Click in the top corners.